Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So today's upload is going to be about Winter Storm Maya. It's turning out to be a fairly large storm. Already the snowfall totals have exceeded what they were originally forecasted for in the west. So I'm expecting that some of the snowfall totals in the plains where the second phase of the storm will take place will also over exceed. So this video is actually getting recorded on a Sunday evening or Saturday evening. It's actually already night, and it will be uploaded on Sunday in the morning around 10-ish, maybe a little bit earlier. So that's the reason why maybe some of these models are a little bit older data. If you'd like to support this channel, you can do so by subscribing to my channel. If you'd like to help to support this video in particular, you could like the video. That's all I'm asking of you, so thank you for that. If you consider to do so. So right now, we're looking at the GFS snowfall totals, and let's actually start off with first the actual MSLP precip rain / frozen. MSLP stands for mean surface level pressure, and that basically tells you where the pressure will set up at what certain millibars, or what the pressure will be. What the reading will be, and that tells us basically what where the highs and the lows, where the troughs and the ridges set up. So what by the pressure on this map, we could tell that the cold is extending way down here into the west and a little bit into the northern U.S., but not as much into the eastern or southeastern U.S. as we see those red pressure lines, and that basically indicates that it needs to be higher up in atmosphere to reach the freezing point, and that gives us a reading that at the surfaces must be much warmer or above freezing. And we see this storm, like I mentioned already, originated in the west. I think I'd mentioned that. Originated in the west, or the Pacific Ocean, went on to the west, became a beast of a winter storm, and then it drops down into the plains. So we see a first wave with this little system, or I should say big system. We see a little wave with this big system. It starts tomorrow, so the day I'm recording this will be tomorrow, but for you watching, it will be Sunday. So today, a band of snow will develop across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. We see maybe 1 to 3 inches, nothing more. I wouldn't say. Maybe localized up to 4-inch amounts. Doesn't seem like a big snowfall producer. The further north you go, further north, Minnesota, Wisconsin will be the heavier amounts of snow. While the further south you go, a little bit lighter amounts, and then if you go even further south, it's just rain. And that first phase of that storm passes through, and we actually see the same origination of the snow band is starting to push up into the north, and this encounters cold air and starts transitioning to some snow. And you can see the latest GFS model run has it a little bit further to the south than previous model runs. As you can see, this was a previous model run. This was even previous one. I'm just going down through them. You can see it's much further to the south now. So this is probably just matters mainly for the areas that are within 100 miles of this right now. So cities like Detroit, Milwaukee, Chicago, Davenport, Iowa, the Quad Cities, Indianapolis, Columbus, Ohio, Cincinnati, most likely at this point going to be all rain, and that's not likely to change. But on the backside of the system, as we could see, maybe a wraparound, another deformation band forming potentially, and that could produce a little bit of snow, light to moderate snow, Tuesday in the evening across Indiana and Ohio. We'll just have to see about that and see if that actually does occur, because this is just the newest model run that's showing this formation. Earlier model runs were showing it just actually being incorporated into the system and a little bit further to the north. So again, major cities like Chicago are on the line with this. A little bit of snow, then maybe rain to snow, snow to rain, and maybe staying all snow to the northwestern suburbs of Chicago, and then transitioning all back to snow potentially. If you live in the northeast, maybe a quick blast of snow for New York City, Boston, maybe 1 to 2 inches, and then it seems to transition to mostly rain. The model forecasts are going to be a little bit messed up for this system, especially across the northeast, because if you go to total positive snow depth change are going to show much greater amounts than what are actually going to fall. These amounts are basically not going to be there at all. They include sleet in here in these snowfall maps, and the sleet always messes with the snow amounts, always puts out for some reason much greater amounts, even though sleet, logically would cut down on the snowfall amounts as it would fall instead of the snow. But that is what we have right now. I would say the most accurate part of this map is what's going on in the west and what's going on in the plains. So 9, 7, 6 to 10 inches of snow is possible across northern Wisconsin, Iowa, and depending on where this sets up in northern Illinois, maybe several inches as well, maybe 3 to 4 inches with this system overall. And then we go to a much bigger system. Let's go to MSLP precip and frozen, rain and frozen, and we see a second system that came out from the west, becoming very strong and potentially being something like, if you do remember Winter Storm Bruce from earlier on in the year, a very similar storm delivering quite a bit of heavy snow, especially the further north you go. And then we could be seeing some snow in the south maybe. Look at that. That's potentially going to happen. That's still far out, but it's always a possibility. So quite a bit of exciting things occurring in the next couple of days. This was just a GFS model run. I'll show you the other models in just a minute. And you can see with that second system on top, we could be looking at amounts over 2 feet of snow in the Midwest. And again, look at that, potentially some snow in the south, but that's still far out, so I won't include that in the title. Let's go to the FE3 GFS, which is a member of the GFS. You can see a little bit more widespread, but still has that snow in the south, has the heavy snow in the plains, and quite a bit of snow in the northeast. But again, I wouldn't buy all these snowfall totals. Some of these are a little bit too high, or I should say quite a bit too high. The amounts in the west are ridiculous. I mean, some locations will be seeing 40, 60, 70 inches of snow in the upper elevations. And even cities like Seattle may be seeing as much as 1.5 feet of snow in the next couple of days, next 10 days, which would be absolutely astonishing, since they usually average around 3 to 4 inches for the whole winter. So let's go to the European model and let's see what it has for the next 10 days. And we could see that for the next 10 days, let's click on this, next 10 days, quite a bit of snow in the Midwest, again, maybe up to 2 feet, 18 inches, 1.5 feet, and a little bit, not showing the snow in the south, however, that's why it's some great uncertainties. You could see New York City maybe seeing as much as 4 inches in the next 10 days, Boston, 4 inches, New York, upstate New York, up to 1 foot. And look at some of these. If you want me to make a video just on the west, leave a comment below, because I usually don't make videos specifically about the west because it takes a lot of time, but it does not usually pay forward in the amount of views that I get and people appreciating it. I just seem to get less viewers from the west. So if you want me to actually make a video on this, consider leaving a comment, since there's going to be enough comments, I will make a video on it. But look at that. Just the mountains east of Portland, Oregon, potentially 70, 80 inches. This is what the European model is showing. Sierra Nevada, look at that, 60 inches, 70, 50 inches. And then cities, like I already mentioned in previous videos, that cities like Las Vegas may be seeing a little bit of snow, which they typically, don't see snow, don't even see flurries, but they could maybe seeing a couple of tenths of an inch because it's going to be so downright cold and filled with moisture. Seattle, cities like Seattle, again, I said all around 1 foot of snow, definitely not out of the question for the next 10 days. Portland, Oregon, quite a bit as well, 9 inches. So a lot of wintry weather for the west. Typically doesn't happen, but this year it has been crazy for the west. And look at Colorado also seeing massive amounts of snow. And basically every state in the west will be seeing a lot of snow this year. So let's quickly check how long this is too long. So let's go to the National Weather Service. We have a little bit more time, and I would like to show you what the National Weather Service is. The stations are putting up some advisories, some warnings, some flash flood warnings, some advisories. You can see southern Indiana, this Ohio Valley, I should rather say. So cities like Cincinnati, Louisville, Paducah, Kentucky, Carbondale, Illinois will be in the winter weather advisory, but a lot of areas, Ohio Valley will be under. I think these are flood watches. Almost every single state of Missouri, or every county of Missouri is under a winter weather advisory for a little bit of ice that could occur with that first wave of the system tomorrow. Not much snow, maybe 1 to 2 inches. It's mainly the ice that's going to be impactful. And then up here in northern Illinois, there's a hydraulic outlook for the river jams that could form and flood out certain areas. And we're seeing a winter weather advisory for the areas up north where maybe 4 to 5 inches will be falling with that first band. But if you click on that same location, they already have they're already talking about the potential for another system. Again, you could see winter storm possible into Monday night into Tuesday. They're showing 8 inches plus around Minneapolis area, northern Minnesota, or central Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, and the further south you go, the lesser the amounts. So that is basically it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something new. Consider subscribing. And again, if you want me to make a video on the West, comment that down below. And I'll catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.